I've known this brand for quite a while, but I met them personally for the first time during Time 2 Watches in Geneva in April this year. And finally, I have some of their products in my hand, and we're gonna do a hands-on review of one of their most popular models. So this is gonna be quite exciting, and the brand we are talking about is Nivada Grenchen. Together with the watch they also sent a book, so we got to learn more about another of their models, and this is the Antarctic, which is a very historical piece. You really need to read up on this one if you want to learn about Nivada, because this is one of their really cooler historical models. And they've made quite a lot, which you can see in this booklet here, because they started back in 1926, so you can imagine they have created a lot of watches since then. They had their highlights back in the 40s, 50s and 60s before the quartz crisis came and took them. But before the brand went bankrupt back in the late 1970s, they managed to create something that I think today is their most popular model and quite a cool historical piece, and that's the F77. The name stands for that it was produced first, the historical piece, in 1977, and back in 1977 integrated bracelets was the big thing. And as you all know, Gerald Drenta pushed the integrated bracelet out through a lot of different brands actually. It was not just Audemars Piguet, Patek, it was a lot of different brands that had designs made by Gerald Drenta back in 1970s. And Nivada Grenchen, they also produced integrated bracelet watches, and it's thanks to that that we have this beautiful watch in front of us now, because this is the Mark II upgraded modern version of the F77, and you can still tell it's very similar to the historical watch. And that is one of the big features why I truly love this watch, because it is so true to its own heritage. It's so true, it's so similar to how the watch looked back in 1977. A lot of people do reissues, but they upgrade them a little bit too much in my opinion. This watch is extremely similar, yeah, I mean it is modern, it is waterproof, the steel strap is much smoother, etc, and the clasp, I mean it's great, but it still very much looks like its own history, which I think they've balanced very well. And that I have to say, it is gonna be the hardest thing when you do a tribute watch to your own watch that was created like several decades ago. So to my second favorite detail, yeah, that is the dial. It is a black onyx dial, which means that it's a stone dial, but you can barely understand it until you really see it, how it shines so well. Setting the time of this watch is obviously straightforward. The crown is a screw down crown and it's a 3-hand watch with no date, so you just pull it out and then you set the time on it. Sometimes you see that the hands maybe doesn't reflect as good in this video. I can tell you in real life it is very easy to read. I mean, as I said before, the black onyx dial, it creates this brilliant contrast between the dial and the indexes. Onyx dials is immensely popular, and I just love to see them in real life because they are so shiny, and in the end of the day it is a stone, which is probably the most popular type of dials at the moment, and I just love it. The clasp is though super modern, even though it is a lot of heritage back to the one done in the 1970s. It has many and quite a lot, as you can see here, micro adjustment, which makes this very easy to find and make perfect for your wrist. These are crucial, I think, for these kind of steel strap watches. But in order to get it to fit my wrist, I need to remove quite a few links. In the end of the day, I actually removed 4 different links and pushed in the micro adjustments, I think 3 steps to make it fit my hand perfectly. And while I'm shortening the link, I wanted to show you the back case. Here, it's a quite straightforward back case. You see some of the specifications and you have this beautiful logo centered with the F77 straight there. How to shorten the link, you just need a screw mazel here, and that's one of my favorite links to remove because that makes it sturdy and easy. As I said before, I had to remove 4 links and that went quite quick. And this is how the watch looks on my 16.5 centimeter wrist. And while you enjoy the watch, I want to tell you the story of how this watch brand came alive again. Because as I said, it went background back in the late 1970s. But in 2018, there was 2 guys who were deciding that they wanted to bring this brand alive by creating a lot of reissues of their old historical models, but doing it with up-to-date mechanics, etc. And this is what you see in front of you now. So thanks to these guys, we get to experience these brand new watches. So now you've really seen it up close, you've seen it on my wrist, and I want to share with you the specifications. Yeah, I've said before, it's a black onyx dial, which I think is absolutely stunning. We got a 38mm case, the thickness is 12.2mm, which I actually think in reality it might even be slightly more thin. The lug to lug is 46.2, and the bracelet dimensions is 22 in the top, and then it tapers down to 16mm, which really also gives this good retro vibe, I think. And here I'm trying to get really close to the dial, but as you know who have seen onyx dials and many stone dials, they are really hard to catch on videos. You need to experience them in real life. But here you get to see how it's shimmering a little bit. You also get to see the applied Nivada logo there. And that's kind of the best we can get through this video, but I can assure you, if you get this watch and you get it out in the sun or in the just daylight, you're gonna not be disappointed. This is gonna be one of those watches when you try it in store or in someone's house, it's gonna look good, but when you get it out on your wrist in real life, it's gonna feel even better. And that's because of two reasons. It's extremely comfortable on the wrist. I'm all about comfort when it comes to watches, and that has been growing on me the more watches I try. And the second of all, it's because this dial is so cool. And we're gonna wrap up this video with giving you another shot at trying to give you the great crispiness of this dial outside. Thank you guys for watching and for Nivada for creating this collaboration. This has been awesome. Let us know what you think in the comments and what you think about the history of this brand.